Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University, Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougar!
Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome back to another Coach's Weekly for this season of Cougar Baseball. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network, and joining me once again is head coach of that team, Matt Smith. Coach, thanks for coming back on.
Absolutely. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Coach. And how are you doing? How's the team been doing for last week?
The team's been riding a high. Yesterday we hit a little bump in the road, but all teams are going to hit that. Nice thing is we get to come back tomorrow, nice little reset. Get to drive up to beautiful Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
Absolutely, Chad. Touching on that, you mentioned rough series for you guys yesterday against Aurora, dropping both of those games. Before that, your team on a hot streak, like you said, 3 straight all-in conference, a doubleheader sweep against St. Norbert at home, and then picking up the second game and a season sweep over Benedictine with a big 3-1 win at home this last Monday as well. And there were some exciting games in there. And the first one I want to touch on, looking at those games, that first St. Norbert's game, your team going into the 9th, trailing 7-3, and comeback win, 8-7, bottom of the 9th on a walk-off hit by pitch. And that was maybe the best example of run manufacturing we've seen all year. It was a combination of walks, singles, hit by pitch, sack, fly, all these different things. 5 runs across the plate, 90 feet at a time, literally through the entire batting order. What goes into making an inning like that possible?
It goes into the boys' preparation. It goes into our coaching staff, as I said last week. Just what is our approach? What is our identity? As you can see from these past couple games, we can put the ball in the yard, but you're not going to be able to do it all the time. And, we were able to lock in, manufacture those runs, and we stayed relentless the entire game. We didn't give in at any point in time, especially in that 9th inning. It's always the hardest outs. The last 3 outs are always the hardest ones to get. And our guys obviously made it very hard for them. They didn't expand their zone. They knew what they had to do. They came up. They went to each at bat with an approach, realizing that if there's no one on base, you can't hit a 3-run home run. So we're going to move up a guy 90 feet, move up the next guy, just as you just said. And our guys did a great job of that.
Absolutely, Coach. And you mentioned in there the power, and your team still has been providing the offense. Example of that Benedictine game on Monday, all the offense coming from the bat of Brandon Mahler, a 1-run home run and a 2-run homer, his 4th multi-homer game of the year. And then Jake Mahler, his 3rd multi-homer game of the year yesterday against Aurora. Both of them having fantastic seasons at the plate. Brandon at the top of almost every offensive category in the NAC through yesterday. Jake working his way up those stat boards as well. He picked up his first Conference Player of the Week award this last week for this season in the NAC. Brandon, his 2nd 2 weeks ago. Just those 2 guys and how well they've been playing this year. How impressed are you with their senior seasons so far?
Honestly, I'm not impressed. This is what I expected out of these guys. I expected them with the leadership that they have, being able to set the tone, and what's really helped them in, getting those pitches is they're not just one-dimensional hitters. They're the guys that can hit the doubles, they can hit the backside ground balls, they can manufacture runs different ways without putting the ball, over the fence. And I think that's what has made them a very dangerous type of hitter. And again, I'm not surprised by it, just because seeing them from the last 4 years and the work that they've put in and what they've done, they've really just shown who they truly are this year. And it's really awesome to see as a coach, especially over the last 4 years, watching these guys go through, their struggles and their ups and downs of things, and really putting it together their senior year and just setting a tone and an example to everybody else in that lineup of what it really takes to be an all-around great hitter.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking past ahead, and we've talked a lot about the offense in the last few weeks. That's been the highlight of your team. The pitching, looking past that Aurora series yesterday in the early innings of those games, the pitching's been actually doing very, very well. That Benedictine game, probably the best starting pitching performance we've seen all year out of Jack Carroll. 8 innings, no runs allowed, 10 strikeouts, just 2 hits given up. And then even the game before that, 9-2 win over St. Norbert's. Your pitching staff has been getting hotter. They've been starting to find more control and keep the runs down. Where has the progress come from with the pitching staff, and how are you guys going to be able to keep this up through the season? When you go through some hurdles like we saw yesterday, how do you navigate through those hurdles and get back to those good performances?
So to answer the first part, really what our guys have done is we simplified things. We kind of went back to the drawing board of what made us successful last year, because a lot of those guys are returning, and just simplified it. And I think that's something that's really helped on the pitching side of it. Guys have been working. We've been setting up some good plans for those guys to be successful in those times. And we're explaining why we're doing what we're doing when we're not, when we're having our training days and non-game days. And then, how do we kind of bounce back from a game like yesterday? We look at the results of what happened. When you live middle, you're going to get hit. So it's just one of those things, as our guys know, that, hey, we need to be better. And being able to fill up the zone and be more competitive. Doesn't matter what team we're facing offensively. If we aren't throwing competitive pitches, they're going to start eliminating pitches and just sit on one pitch. That's kind of what we fell into a little bit yesterday. Aurora is a very good offensive team. Yeah. They're on pace to hit 200 doubles this year, and it's a pretty, cool thing to see. Yeah. However, we can't back down. We can't be afraid to throw competitive pitches. And when we did do that yesterday, we threw competitive pitches. We saw some success out of it. They weren't barreling the ball, and we were getting out. So it's just kind of taking. You can take a lot from wins, but you can take a lot more from losses, and you can really say, all right, what do we really need to work on in moving forward? And I think our guys are good at adapting that. Our guys are quick learners. Our guys can, make those changes, coming up here in less than 24 hours before we go up to Fond du Lac.
Yeah, and going right into that, you mentioned less than 24 hours, you're headed up to Fond du Lac. That packed schedule continues this week. You come back home Sunday for Alumni Day, a game against Elmhurst, little non-conference break for your guys before you're back in NAC play, staying at home next Tuesday to take on the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. That's a lot of games coming up in not a lot of days. And like you mentioned, less than 48 hours between those Aurora games and this Berrien game. So kind of a twofold question here. How do you, with just one day between games, rebound from a tough loss like that and get ready to go again? And on the other side of that, what are you able to focus on getting ready for those games to come in such a tight window?
So how we kind of get over yesterday's game, we can break some things down of just, hey, these are the things that we have to work on that are going to help us, move forward. Yeah. And then it's like, again, that's the best thing about baseball is you have a quick turnaround, so you can kind of flush it, get it out of your system, and move on to the next game. Yeah. And how do we prepare for these next couple games? Our guys have been prepared for this. Our guys have been prepped for this. They've been, ready for this gauntlet of games. And, what really helped in the St. Norbert's and Ben U games was our starting pitchers really just, put the team on their back and said, I'm going to eat up as many innings as possible, and I'm going to, preserve the bullpen. And that's what they did, and that's what's really going to help save us is those guys, a week and a half ago, by doing this, is going to then help us on the back end. So we are prepared for it. We're ready for it. This part of the year right now is just let's get as many games in as we possibly can, and that's what's going to help us keep us fresh and keep us hot.
Absolutely, Coach. And we'll see how you guys do tomorrow. Already a doubleheader against Marian University up in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. You can follow that game at cucougars.com. And then following that up, they'll be back at home in River Forest starting on Sunday against Elmhurst, and then a doubleheader right here on the Cougar Sports Network against Illinois Tech on Tuesday. Coach, again, thank you for coming on, and best of luck to you and your team over the next few days. And thank you for joining us for another Baseball Coaches Weekly. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network. Make sure to join us next time, and as always, roll Cougar.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cougar Sports Network for some doubleheader NAC action. Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks coming to take on the Concordia Chicago Cougars right here at the Thunderdome. I'm Kayla McLeod. I'll be on the call all day with you, and joining me today is Sam Smith for the first time here at Cougar Baseball, and it is a beautiful day for some CUC baseball. Michael Southard leading things off on the mound for the Cougars. He's getting his first start of the season here today. He delivers a ball number 1 to start this game off. But let's take a quick look around the field at the starting lineup for the Cougars. Michael Southard, left-handed pitcher on the mound behind home plate. Brandon Mahler going left to right across the infield. Connor Jerkaitis, Richie Sperando, Jake Mahler, Jack Linko going left to right across the outfield. Brendan Holloway, Cam Buckley, and Xavier Zagerman. A very familiar lineup here for the Cougars, as quickly the leadoff hitter for the Scarlet Hawks, Jack Fryer, sits with a 3-0 count. As Southard delivers a 4-ball walk to the leadoff man for the Scarlet Hawks and puts a runner on base already and hands things over to Quentin Ripple, the freshman out of California, with 1 on and no outs on the board. Ripple shows a bunt, pulls back, takes it for strike 1 anyway.
Yeah, something this II team loves to do is steal bases. They're second in the NAC, and they get on base as well with a 402 on base percentage this season. And expect a steal here. Expect a lot of movement on the base paths today from this IIT team.
Jack Fryer over on first. He's 13 for 17 on stolen bases this season as Southern checks on him. That throw a little low and away, but scooped up well by Linko. Cougars, they are coming off of a heartbreaking loss yesterday, some non-conference action over at North Park. So this is a familiar lineup that played yesterday, but looking to bounce back and get into the win column here. They picked up the win over Marion on a Sunday, so a win in NAC play, but this is their 3rd consecutive day of ball games, as Southern now sits with the 1-1 count to Repel. This one connected on, sent over. Sperando, he's able to scoop it, get it over to Mahler. The throw over to first, not in time, but they do erase the lead base runner and put 1 out on the board.
Yeah, like I said, this is a fast team. It's going to be hard to double them up. Good base running there. Saving the double play. That was a little close at second as well. I didn't know if they're going to be able to turn at least one, but you got the 1 out.
So 1 out on the board, and that's going to bring up Ryan Fostiak. Fostiak batting .360 on the season. He's making his 27th start on the year here today, as the first pitch to him delivered up and away for ball 1.
Yeah, Fostiak leading this team in extra base hits. 12 doubles on the year with 2 triples and a home run. Not a lot of power on this II team, but he's an anomaly. .532 slug on the season.
The 1-0 delivered low makes it 2-0. Southard, as I mentioned, he's making his first start on the season, his 7th total appearance. He's second on this team in ERA with a 2, as he quickly delivers another hitter's count here for Fostiak with 3 balls, no strikes. But Southern, he was a key starter for this CUC squad last season, so we've seen him be effective. We've seen him go the way in these ball games, and he works himself right back here with a strike number 1. Southern only 9 total innings pitched so far this year, so we're just getting started seeing what he can do in his junior campaign. As this one swung on and missed for strike number 2. Southern quickly working himself back into this count. Pitch clock winding down. Southern delivers. This one's going to be connected on and sent high into right field. Zagerman coming up and underneath it. No tag from Repel, so that's going to put out number 2 on the board and bring up Philip Benz to the plate.
Batting fourth, the right fielder, number 35, Philip Benz.
2 outs, 1 runner on. Benz, he's leading this Scarlet Hawk squad, batting .396 on the year. He's making his 27th appearance as Southern checks over on Rappel at first.
Yeah, not a lot of pop in Benz's bat, but batting .396, just under 400, like you said, the leading this team in batting average.
As this one is fouled off straight back, makes this an 0-1 count. Southern getting set here. He delivers. This one catching that outside corner of the plate for strike number 2. Southern ahead in the count for the first time here today. As he delivers this one low and away for ball 1. Pitch clock under 10 here as Southern finally comes set. He delivers. This one's going to be put into play. A chopper over to third, and it's going to get through the 6-hole all the way into left field. Holloway able to scoop it up and prevent any extra bases from Rappel, but that is going to be a 2-out hit for Benz.
Yeah, that's just what Benz has been doing all year. Like we said, that super high batting average, and he just loves to get on base, and nothing. That wasn't an impressive hit or anything. A little chopped on the ground in between the third baseman and shortstop, but sometimes that's all you need. First and second now.
So that's going to bring Tyler Gutzfeld up to the plate for the Scarlet Hawks, the senior out of Connecticut. Gutzfeld batting .260 on the year, making his 27th start, I should say, as he swings through the first pitch he sees for strike 1. This one's going to be fouled off straight back and quickly Southern ahead in the count yet again. 0-2 count, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Southern delivers. This one low for ball 1. One-two count now for Gutzfeld. This one in there for strike 3. Southern catches him looking and ends the inning with no damage done. So a big time strikeout for Southern. 1 hit in the inning, but 2 left on base is going to send it over to the Cougar hitters. Buckley, Holloway, and Mahler due up when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network.
Cougars coming to bat at the Thunderdome.
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, and Cam Buckley leading the inning off for the Cougars. He's been the guy all year in the leadoff spots, and he's looking to get things going early, but he's going to swing through the first pitch that he sees. Dishing on the mound for the Scarlet Hawks, number 47, Cameron Bracewell. We'll take a quick look at the starting lineup across the field for the Scarlet Hawks, but Cam Buckley's going to take a swing at that one, and it sends it deep into center field, but backtracking it is Fostiak for the out. And that's going to hand things over to Brendan Holloway. So, like I said, taking a look at this infield, going left to right across the infield, Rappel, Fryer, Mayasato, and Inman. Going left to right across the outfield is Yaknin, Fostiak, and Bentz. Bracewell dishing on the mound. And behind home plate is Matthew Riley, as Bracewell delivers strike number 1 to Holloway.
Yeah, and that was a big first out, getting Buckley out. He's been their guy all year, leading off. Batting .373, on base just under 500, and he leads the NAC in stolen bases. So big first off for IIT. Let's see if Holloway, the veteran, get something going here.
The 1-1 count. This one's connected on and sent deep into left field. Some trouble backtracking. It's all the way down at the fence. Holloway's taking an extra base, and he's going to be in for a stand-up double. A big-time hit for Holloway. He's been needing that. And hands it over to one of the hottest hitters in the NAC, Jake Mahler.
Yeah, and it looks like left fielder Luke Yakin just misread that. It looked like he took a step forward, and then he tried to recover, and he tripped, and over his head. Double for Holloway.
Jake Mahler has been finding his stride as of recently, responsible for 2 home runs yesterday in the loss at North Park. A big power hitter for the Cougars. He lets that first pitch go by for ball 1. This one's going to clip that outside edge of the plate for strike 1. One and one count, runner on second. Mahler's going to foul this one back. Now sits with the 1-2. This one's going to miss outside. Levels the count at 2 apiece. Like I said, Jake Mahler, 2 home runs yesterday in the North Park game, and that was his 4th multi-home run game this season. He's come in and just been absolutely dominant at the plate for the Cougars. As he sends this one into space in right center, that's going to get down. Holloway, he's rounding, he's heading home. The throw is not even close to being in time. Mahler's going to hold at first, but an RBI single puts the Cougars on the board first.
Yeah, just a great 2-strike approach there from Mahler. And if you're Cameron Bracewell, you know that this guy is swinging a hot bat, and you don't want to give him any damage, and just dumped it over the second baseman's head, opposite field.
The catcher, number 9, Brandon Mahler.
Now bringing up an even hotter bat, a hotter Mahler, Brandon Mahler, batting .476 on the season.
Brandon Mahler now at the plate, as you mentioned, Sam. Somehow even hotter of a hitter than Jake Mahler. He's leading in the NAC in many statistical categories. He's ranked in the NCAA, and he's having himself a fantastic senior season. And he lets that first pitch go by for strike 1. This one's going to be a chopper over to short. Fryer able to scoop it. He's going to get the throw over in time. Really good stretch there from Inman to secure the ball, but that is going to be out number 2 and hands things over to Xavier Zagerman with 2 away and a runner on second.
batting fifth. The right fielder, number 16, Xavier Zagerman.
Zagerman also having himself a strong season, really coming to life in some of those clutch moments in games on Sunday against Marion. Zagerman juicing a solo home run to put the Cougars ahead and eventually securing that lead for CUC in that NAC win. So he's coming off of some strong NAC play. He lets the first pitch go by for strike one. Swinging through that one. Quickly now sits with the 0-2 count. Bracewell doing a nice job getting ahead here.
I mean, looking at the CUC lineup, obviously Cam Buckley gets on base just at least twice a game, and the Mahler brothers swinging the hottest bats in the NAC right now. And Brendan Holloway really finding his stroke this year, as of recently.
Zagerman's going to swing through that one and go down on strikes, stranding Jake Mahler over on second and hands things over to the Cougar defense. Southern coming back out to dish on the mound. Logan Inman due up when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Logan Inman leading the inning off for Illinois Tech, and he's going to take strike number one from Southern. Cougars, they did strike first in the bottom of the first, taking the early 1-0 lead. So the Scarlet Hawks now trailing here, but Inman sitting with the 1-1 count. Southern delivers this one. Going to be swung on and missed. Some good movement on that ball, just dropping its way into the zone. A little off speed there that got Inman swinging. Southern ahead in the count now, 1-2. He delivers. That one's going to be put into play, but it's going to be a roller over to Mahler. Mahler scoops it up. The throw high, but Linko able to secure it for out number one.
Yeah, just right off the end of the bat there, weak contact, and that's what he's been doing all game, forcing weak contact.
Batting seventh, the catcher,
And that's a
number
good sign for the
25,
Cougs, who you know will put up some runs.
Yeah.
Just keep these Knights off the base paths.
As that's going to bring
Hawks, excuse me.
Matthew Riley up to the plate. He's going to swing through the first pitch he sees for strike at number one. This one up and in for ball one. As I mentioned before, in the top of the first, Southern limited innings pitched so far this season, but last season, 36.2 total innings pitched. He was a key starter for the Cougars. As this one's going to be skied into shallow left side of the field, and Sperando able to get up and underneath it for out number two. And that's going to bring Kendall Miyasato up to the plate for the Scarlet Hawks with 2 away.
Kendall Miyasato.
Miyasato batting .227 on the season, making his 15th start for the Scarlet Hawks. Looking to get a 2-out rally going, but he's going to swing through the first pitch he sees for strike number 1. Quickly, an 0-2 count here in favor of Southern. Southern ended the first inning with a looking strikeout and sits ahead in the count. 0-2, 2 outs. He delivers. That one's going to be put into play, but just chopping foul along third base. Really, really close to being fair territory. Connor Jerkadis just scooping it up just to the right of the bag. So Miyasato keeping himself alive in this at-bat.
Yeah, and probably a fortunate bounce there for the Cougs. Miyasato is definitely going to be able to beat that out. Speedy down the first baseline.
So the 0-2, 2 outs yet again, misses just outside for ball 1.
Yeah, I don't hate that there from Southern, though. Competitive pitch just outside the zone. You got plenty more pitches. It's that bat.
Trying to get Miyasato chasing here. He sends this one in and low for ball 2. So 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the second. Southern delivers this one well in and low, and quickly Miyasato has worked his way back into this count. Sits with the full count. The payoff pitch. Fouled off along the third base line right to the Scarlet Hawks dugout. Miyasato keeping himself alive here yet again. Southern delivers this one low and in for ball 4. Southern, he's really looking for that low inside corner and just not catching it here. Is going to put a base runner on with 2 outs.
Batting ninth, the left fielder, number 3.
And Luke Yaknin now at the plate with 2 away. Southern delivers this one low and away for ball 1. Yaknin wanted to chase it, instead let it go by. This one missing low and in now for ball 2. Southern, one of the few left-handed pitchers on this CUC squad. Cougars predominantly a right-handed pitching staff. As this one is going to be skied into space in left center. Buckley coming up and underneath it for the outs. Is going to secure out number 3 and hold the Scarlet Hawks scoreless yet again in the top of the second. And that's going to send things to Owens, Linko, and Jerkadis when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the second, and Owens leading things off. He's hitting in the DH position today as he takes a swing of the first pitch. He sees that chops foul along the first base line. Owens, he played yesterday as the starting catcher while Brandon Mahler sunk into the DH position. So these two, we've seen them do it all season, a little back and forth. You can most likely expect Owens to catch in game 2, but that's going to be skied into right center, and backtracking at the wall is Fosiak to collect it. Really good contact there from Owens. So that puts one out on the board and hands things over to Jack Linko. We've seen Linko kind of be a little bit of a flux for the Cougars this season. We've seen him at first. We've seen him pitch. Early on in the season, we saw him in left field. So we've seen Linko kind of all over the field, but he's really settling into that first base position and coming to life behind his bat as well.
Yeah, Linko's been swinging a good bat this year, batting .302, and a lineup that needs some spark in the bottom of the order. We talked about earlier how top heavy this lineup is, but Linko's been good in this position all year.
As that one's going to get down in fair territory right up along the right field line. Linko's going to hold at first. So doing his job and handing things over to Connor Jerkadis.
Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 72, Connor Jerkadis.
Yeah, that went up and in on his hands and just used those strong hands, poked it opposite field for a leadoff single.
Jerkadis, another one of those flux players that we've seen kind of slide into different positions for the Cougars this season. We saw him at first early in the year. We're seeing him at third today. We've seen him come in as a pinch hitter, just getting the job done and, again, looking to get his bat going here. As that one's fouled off, so now he sits with the 0-2 count. As they're going to check over on Linko at first. Jerkadis yesterday against North Park, 1 for 4 at the plate. Had 2 RBIs as they check on Linko yet again.
Yeah, for those wondering, Linko is not a threat on the base pass. Only 1 stolen base all year. Imagine there's a little mind games there.
Bracewell finally delivers this one to Jerkadis upstairs for ball 1. So as you mentioned, the mind games from Linko working as Bracewell was ahead in that count 0-2 and delivered the first ball to Jerkadis. As that one's going to catch that outside corner for strike 3. Jerkadis could not believe it. And that's going to hand things over to Richie Sperando now with 2 away. As head coach for the Scarlet Hawks, Ed Ziefert, coming out and checking on something with the umpire, getting a new ball.
Shortstop, number 8, Richie Sperando.
Yeah, for Jerkadis there, I mean, that could have been called a ball, but with 2 strikes, you got to protect. You got to swing the bat there at least and try to at least foul it off, even if it's not your favorite pitch. But with 2 strikes, you got to have that 2-strike approach.
Bracewell's 24th strikeout of the season. 25th strikeout of the season. As he delivers a foul ball there for Sperando. Sperando's going to connect with that one, send it into play. A chopper over to short. Fryer gets collects it, but it just can't quite get the throw over in time. A really hard hit ball, off balance throw. So that's going to move Linko over to second and bring up the top of the order for the Cougars with Cam Buckley with 2 away.
Yeah, good effort there from Fryer, but that was going to be a tough play. Bringing up Buckley here. A little 2-out rally, top of the order.
Buckley 0 for 1 here today, as he lets that first one go by for strike number 1, sinking right into the zone. Swinging through that one quickly, now sits with the 0-2 count. Buckley, not a guy that likes long at-bats. You typically do see him swinging at the first couple pitches, trying to make contact and get on base as quickly as he can. He now sits with the 0-2, and that one's going to be in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, if you're Bracewell here, you want to be really cautious on this 1-2 pitch.
He's going to connect and send that one right to the Cougar dugout. Dom Owens jumping out of the way. So Buckley keeping himself alive in this at-bat. Still sits with the 1-2.
Yeah, if you're Buckley here, you really just want to keep the line moving. Holloway with that hard hit double in his first plate appearance.
As Buckley's going to swing through that one for strike 3. And close the inning with 2 hits, but 2 left on base because of it. A unfortunate ending to that inning. Cougars having some good momentum, just not able to do much with it. 2 strikeouts from the Scarlet Hawks just really did the damage there, and that's going to bring Southern back out onto the mound for the Cougars, and Jack Fryer back up for the Scarlet Hawks, the top of the lineup here for Illinois Tech coming up. And like we said earlier, it's a beautiful day at the Thunderdome. Sun shining, a slight little breeze, 74 degrees, looking to get up to 80 at some point here this afternoon. And the Cougars, they've been struck with some unfortunate weather this season that has caused their schedule to be a little bit of, for lack of a better term, a disaster. And we mentioned it, this is their 3rd consecutive day of games, and a lot of that is because of that weather. So it's nice to see a bright, sunshiny day for the Cougars here.
Yeah, and with this ridiculous weather, the Midwest weather that we get every single year, I mean, it's not a surprise. It's just always annoying. This is a time for your pitchers, like you're going deep into your staff, and it's time for some of those pitchers who maybe weren't going to play as much to make a name for themselves on this roster.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great point that you bring up, and exactly to that point, Sam, yesterday in the non-conference game against North Park, we saw a brand new arm that has not pitched at all this season in Jonathan Tipton coming in, pitching a strong inning for the Cougars, and it was for the sheer fact that they need to get some arms going. They need to get some success. They need to find guys that can step up, because it's not plausible for their key pitchers to pitch every single game, especially when you're going on days and days and days of consecutive games.
Yeah, absolutely. And this pitching staff this year has, I mean, being honest, it's struggled at times. I mean, giving up 14 runs a couple games ago.
As that's going to be a fair ball hit right up the third base line. A great, well-placed ball for Fryer. He's going to make his way to second with ease. Holloway able to collect it, but that's a perfectly placed ball right up the third base line.
And I wouldn't say that was not the hardest hit ball I've ever seen, but I mean, it found a hole. I mean, you can never blame the hitter. It's a solid hit, but Southern really not giving up a lot of hard contact. But IIT threatening here, leadoff double.
Rappel 0 for 1 at the plate here today, but he's got a runner in scoring position. No outs on the board. Southern delivers the first pitch to him. Swung on, sent deep, and troubling into left field. Holloway looking at it. And over in, they're going to say, fair territory. So a home run for Quentin Rappel just steals the momentum and the lead from the Cougars. So the Scarlet Hawks now lead 2-1 after that home run. That's Rappel's first home run of the season. And as a freshman, that would mean his first career home run. Coming in a big time to put the Scarlet Hawks ahead. Congratulations, Quentin Rappel, for your first collegiate home run. As Southern looking to get out of this jam now. No outs on the board. And a 2-0 count for Fostiak.
And that's got to be a great feeling. First home run of your college career, and it's an important one, too, putting your team up 2-1. Let's see how Southern can bounce back here. See if he can bounce back here.
2-1 count here. Fostiak 0 for 1 here today. He's going to let that one go for strike 2, so a 2-2 count. This one chopping into fair territory. Mahler collecting it and getting the throw over in time for out number 1. Again, similar to what you've been saying all day, Sam, not great contact from Scarlet Hawk hitters aside from that rappel home run. Every other contact has just been slow rolling, a little bit of a chopper, not great connection.
Yeah, but another problem that Southern has not been able to put away these hitters, these Scarlet Hawk hitters at all today. But all in all, like not a bad start from Southern so far. But I mean, the problem with this Cougar team is, like I said, like, well, that North Park game, I mean, you lose 10-9. I mean, that's not on the hitting, you know, and you're assuming that that we have a little.
As Benz is going to call time late. Mahler a little frustrated at that one as Southern was already in motion.
But you're assuming this Cougar offense is going to get some runs up on the board, and
as that one's going to be popped, a nice blooper into right field. Linko tracking it down, sliding to collect it. It's going to hold Benz at first. But Zagerman not able to get in on it, and Linko not able to get back on it in time. It's going to bring Tyler Gutsfeld back to the plate.
Designated hitter number 5, Tyler Gutsfeld.
Gutsfeld 0 for 1 here today. Southern's going to check on Benz over at first.
Yeah, unlike Jack Linko, Philip Bentz is a threat on the base paths. 12 stolen bases, only been caught twice this season.
As this one's going to miss up and in for ball 1. So they're trying to control the tempo here. He delivers this one, missing for ball 2. He's really looking to paint those low corners, try to catch these Scarlet Hawk hitters chasing, and they're just not biting. Two-0 count here for Gutsfeld. Southern delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
I mean, we've talked about the weak contact, but I mean, Southern with only 1 strikeout today, and if you keep on putting, if you're the IIT and you keep on putting the ball in play, you're gonna find holes, and that's what they've been doing.
2-1 count here. Pitch clock winding down. Gutsfeld shows bunt and takes it for strike 2. So now the 2-2 count. Southern trying to work himself back into this. The 2-2. Missing for ball 3. Again, very similar spots to what we've been seeing all day from Southern. Just really hoping to catch those low corners. So a full count now, 1 out, 1 runner on. Southern takes a breath, and he's going to check over on Bentz at first, diving back to the bag safely.
Yeah, this is a really important pitch from Southern here. 3-2 count. I'm curious to see if he wants to go make him chase or make him hit it, make him earn it.
As they look to get Bentz yet again, really, really close there.
Yeah, Bentz is getting a little greedy over there.
So still sitting with the 3-2. Ben's shortening up his leadoff just a touch. He's going to take off for second. Swing and a miss. Mahler with the throw down. Just off. So Gutsfeld goes down swinging, but Benz is going to take that stolen base. 2 outs on the board. Logan Inman now at the plate.
Yeah, but if you're Southern there, you'll definitely take an out for a stolen base. And
First baseman number 15, Logan Inman.
Inman 0 for 1 here today. Souther delivers the first pitch to him. Clips that outside corner for strike 1.
I mean, this is a guy you want if you're IIT. Only 14 starts this year, but batting .367. Second time seeing Southern today.
This one fouled off. Southern now ahead 0-2, 2 outs. Southern has the opportunity to get out of the inning right here. 0-2, 2 outs, runner on second. Pitch clock winding down. He delivers. In there for strike 3. A big-time strikeout for Southern. Much needed to get out of the inning. But the Scarlet Hawks, they are going to strike and take the 2-1 lead. 2 runs on 3 hits, but that's going to bring Holloway and both Maulers back to the plate when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Brendan Holloway leading the inning off for the Cougars, and Bracewell still dishing on the mound for the Scarlet Hawks. Holloway shows bunt, takes it for strike 1. Holloway 1 for 1 at the plate here today, looking to keep that rolling. As he connects, and he's going to send that one into left field. It is going to get down, so just as I said, he's going to keep that going and pick up a lead-off single in the inning.
Yeah, that swing was a violent swing. I don't think he appreciated the bunt sign there. 2 solid hits from Holloway so far today. Bringing up the Mahler brothers. Here we go.
Jake Mahler at the plate here. He's 1 for 1 on the day. He picked up a single in his first at-bat. As that one's going to miss upstairs for ball 1. Good movement from Bracewell, just missing high. As they're going to check on Holloway over at first. Holloway did have a nice little jump. Looked like he wasn't necessarily paying attention, so safely back at the bag. This one in there for a strike.
Yeah, Holloway 4 for 5 this season on the base pass. I can't imagine him being too aggressive here.
As Mahler's going to send a slow roller over to Fryer. He scoops it up, gets one. Can they turn two? They do not, so they are going to erase the lead runner. But Mahler safe on first and handing things over to the other Mahler with one away.
The catcher, number 9,
Brandon Mahler 0 for 1 on the day so far today. Brandon Mahler had a little bit of a slow day yesterday against North Park. 1 for 5, no RBIs, which is very uncharacteristic for this senior given the season that he's been having so far. So knowing that, you can only assume that he is due up for a big day at the plate. The 1-0, missing low for ball 2.
You got to be very cautious on this 2-0 pitch.
As they're going to check on Mahler over at first. Mahler, again, not a big threat on the base paths for the Cougars, but staying aware. Yesterday against North Park, the Cougars, they found success in just their leadoffs on first, 2 different times yesterday. In a pickoff attempt, the throw from the pitcher went into right field and resulted in some extra bases for the Cougars. So you can imagine, knowing that it worked well yesterday, they're going to stay aggressive over on first and try to force some bad throws from the Scarlet Hawks. The 3-0 catches there for strike 1. Mahler in disbelief at that.
Yeah, something's telling me, though, that might not be the worst possible strike call there.
So the 3-1 now, 1 out, 1 runner on. Misses away for ball 4.
Yeah, I don't think Bracewell wanted any part of Mahler in that at-bat.
So both Mahlers on base, and Zagerman now at the plate for the Cougars.
the right fielder.
Zagerman went down swinging in his first at-bat of the day. Looking to bounce back here, take advantage of 2 Cougars on the base paths. Runner in scoring position. Brandon Mahler, pretty quick guy for the Cougars. Yesterday getting from first to third in just about 7 seconds. As Zagerman swinging through that one. The 0-1 count here. Bracewell checking on Jake Mahler. And Zagerman's going to watch that one go by for strike number 2. He now sits down in the count 0-2. Good movement from Bracewell. As he delivers here outside for ball 1. Pitch clock winding down yet again. This one missing low for ball 2. I think Riley thought that was in a good spot, but home plate umpire not a fan of those low corners. 2-2 count now. And we're going to see our first mound visit of the day. Presumably just not happy with where these pitches are dropping.
Yeah, like you said, those inside pitches. Blue not calling a lot of strikes. Good take there from Zagerman. It's got to be in the back of his head, too.
Pitching coach for the Scarlet Hawks, Ryan Cantlin, coming out on the mound. Just a quick conversation, walking away, maybe some issues with the pitch comms. Just trying to get some things resituated here. Get everybody on the same page. But Zagerman, he sits with the 2-2 count, 1 out, 2 runners on. Presumably Some good contact into the outfield will score at least the game-tying run. Jake Mahler over on second. As this one sliding, it's going to get through the 6-hole. Mahler, he is going to head home. And Mahler safely in, so call that a broadcaster's jinx for the Scarlet Hawks, but working in favor of the Cougars. A single for Zagerman is going to bring Dom Owens up to the plate for the Cougars.
Yeah, just a great two-strike approach there from Zagerman. Talked about that take on the inside pitch. Looking for the one that he wanted and ripped it through the third baseman and shortstop. 2-2 ball game.
So Jake Mahler showing some speed on the base paths and tying this ball game up. And hands things over to Dom Owens, who lets that first pitch go by for strike one. Owens 0 for 1 here today. Had some really good contact. Went deep into the outfield, but retired by Fostiak. He's going to let that one go by for ball one. One and one count, one out here for Owens. 2 runners on. This one inside. Owens wanted to swing. They're going to check with the field umpire, who says no dice. 2-1 count. Owens, he's going to connect with this one, and that's going to get down in center field. Mahler, he's rounding and heading home. The throw is not going to get home. Zagerman safe in at third. A RBI single for Dom Owens puts the Cougars ahead.
Yeah, that's good base running there from Mahler. He looked at it, stopped for just a second, saw that it was going to drop, made it home.
So the Cougars retake the lead here in the bottom of the third. And Jack Linko now at the plate. Still 1 out on the board. Runners on the corner bags. Jack Linko, as Coach Nelson over on third base saying, to do a job here. Looking to do his job and score Zagerman in whatever means necessary. 1 out, runners on the corner bags. He's going to foul off the first pitch he sees for the 0-1 count. He's going to connect that, send that one deep back. That is long gone over Division Street. Oh, my goodness. Bingo, bango, bongo, Jack Linko doing his job. Home run for home run here at the Thunderdome today. And the Cougars extend out to a 6-2 lead. Jack Linko absolutely getting it done. That ball was ripped off of his bat.
Yeah, that was just an awesome swing. There was no doubt in my mind as soon as I left the bat that was going places.
As Circadis is going to swing at the first pitch he sees for strike number 1.
Yeah, I think Linko knew it was out too.
I mean, you could hear it. You could see it. That ball traveled the distance. That ball actually might be over the street on Division Street. Might have
that might be in someone's front yard.
Might be in someone's front yard, absolutely. But Jerkadis, he's going to go down in 3 pitches and hand things over to Richie Sperando.
The shortstop, number 8, Richie Sperando.
Yeah, and like I was talking about earlier, Linko bringing a lot of life to this lineup. Past the Maulers and Buckley, and swings like that, like you'll take them for the CUC offense.
Absolutely. I mean, Jack Linko just absolutely having himself a sophomore season. like I mentioned earlier, working his way into the starting lineup. We've seen him on the mound, but I think he's been more effective for the Cougars when he's hitting and playing in the field, especially over at first base. But that's his second home run on the season. And just absolutely doing what he needs to do to keep this game rolling.
I mean, you were expecting home runs coming into this game. IIT gives up a lot of home runs. The Cougars hit the most in the NAC, and beautiful day out, really warm. Ball's going to travel today.
As that pitch behind Sperando, quickly now the 3-1 count. So 2 outs on the board after Jerkadis' strikeout. And Sperando's going to connect with that one, send it deep into left center, but able to collect it is Yaknin for the out to get the Scarlet Hawks out of the inning. But the Cougars, they are able to retaliate with aggression, tacking on 5 runs in the inning and taking the 6-2 lead. Riley, Misiato, and Yaknin do up when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, and CUC riding some momentum. Matthew Riley looking to steal that momentum back for the Scarlet Hawks. He fouls off the first pitch he sees, but Michael Southard still dishing for the Cougars. Scarlet Hawks took the lead in the top of the third, but the Cougars, they answered with aggression in the bottom half of the inning. And Scarlet Hawks looking to keep their bats going. They had a really productive top of the third and looking to continue that here.
Yeah, and we know CUC can swing the bat. I mean, 6 runs, crooked number in that last inning, but this is what it comes down to. Can the pitching answer back?
As that's going to be a slow roller over. Linko collects it, but Southard not able to get there in time to cover the bag. So a well-placed slow roller from Riley puts 1 runner on.
Yeah, and this IIT team, they're on a 4-game winning streak, and they scored 51 runs in their last 4 games. So I'm expecting more runs from both squads today. But this is really what it comes down to. Can the CUC pitching staff hold up?
Miyasato now at the plate for the Scarlet Hawks. He took a walk in his last at-bat, working his way back from being down in the count, taking that walk, and he fouls off the first pitch that he sees. Wind starting to pick up a little bit here at the Thunderdome. Just some slight breezes, nothing like we saw on Sunday with wind gusts up to 35 miles an hour. Today, much more calm, just a slight breeze blowing towards the northeast. The 1-1 counts here as Riley's going to take off the throw. Not in time, popping out of the glove of Mahler. So another stolen base for Riley.
Yeah, not really the worst, not the worst throw from Mahler behind the dish, but off speed and great jump there. Virtually impossible to get him out there. And like I said, this IIT team, they love to steal bases. This is their game.
This one in there for strike 2. The 2-2, missing low for ball 3. Again, we've seen that spot be a little bit unkind to both pitchers. They're really looking for those low corners and just not getting those calls.
That was awfully close, but all you could ask for is consistency from an umpire, and he's been consistent on both sides.
Absolutely, absolutely. Both pitchers still testing the waters there, but the 3-2 missing low and away for ball 4. Back-to-back walks for Miyasato. That's going to bring up the 9-hitter for the Scarlet Hawks, Luke Yaknin. But Brandon Mahler going to go out and have a quick chat with his pitcher. Just kind of resettle some things here.
Batter is the left fielder, number 3, Luke Yakinen.
Yeah, you wonder if this is Southern's last batter. IIT about to go third time through the order after this, after Yaknin's at bat.
No movement in the bullpen yet. Just some slight jerseys appearing, but nobody throwing out in the bullpen yet. But that's a bunt that's laid down by Yaknin, scooped up by Jerkadis. The throw over, not in time. A successful bunt is going to load the bases up, no outs, and hand things over to the top of the order. Jack Fryer now at the plate in a favorable opportunity.
13, Jack Fryer.
Southern, 70 pitches on the day so far. This one's going to be connected on and roped foul along third base. I know a deep sigh of relief for all of the Cougars as that one dropped in foul territory, because had that stayed fair up that third base line, that would have been a dangerous ball. 0-1 here. Southern delivers. This one's going to be popped up into the infield, and Mahler able to collect it for out number 1. If you're the Cougars, that's pretty much exactly what you want.
That's best case scenario right there. I mean, in this situation, if you're Southern, you're willing to trade an out for a run, but I mean, you'll trade an out for no runs.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
So the first out finally on the board for the Cougars. Bases still loaded, and Quentin Rappel at the plate. He's coming off of his first collegiate home run as that one's going to get past Mahler. He's going to get the throw over. It's not going to be in time. So base runners advance, and the Scarlet Hawks are going to take a run.
Yeah, Mahler not happy with himself. I think he had a little bit more time than he thought, and not a strong toss.
No, the toss just kind of a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
And Southern wasn't able to even get a glove on it. He blocked it with his body to keep any other base runners from advancing. But this one's going to be connected on and sent into right field. Zagerman's going to get it and get the throw to home, so it is going to prevent the next base runner from going.
Yeah, strong throw out there in right field.
Center fielder, number 6, Ryan Fostiak.
So 2 outs on the board. Fostiak at the plate. Base runners now on second and third. Zagerman out in right field. He's been really good for the Cougars this season. Last year, we saw him primarily working as an infielder in that shortstop position, sometimes flexing over to second base. But this year in his junior campaign, he's been the go-to guy out in right field, and his arm has really proved why he's out there. He's able to get to the ball quickly. He's able to cover a lot of ground, but he's able to get that throw in, and that's exactly what we saw in that last out.
Absolutely.
1-1 count here for Fostiak. Two-one count now. 2 runners on base, both in scoring position. Scarlet Hawks already tacking 1 run on in the inning, trying to attack the high-scoring bottom of the third the Cougars had. And they were in a favorable spot, bases loaded, no outs, and the Cougars have somehow worked their way in, allowing 1 run, but picking up those 2 outs in the process. As that one misses just outside and low again, it's going to load the bases up, but now with 2 outs, and Philip Bentz at the plate. Bentz is 2 for 2 on the day so far, picking up singles in both of his at-bats. This one in the dirt, but Mahler able to keep it in front of him and hold the base runners where they're at.
Yeah, Ben's swinging a hot bat, 2 for 2 today. Their best hitter, probably up over 400 now on the season, batting average-wise. And this is a huge at-bat here for Southern. This would be huge, giving up only 1 run. Bases loaded, no out, going through the heart of the order.
So the 1-0 count. Southern delivers this one. Swung on and missed for strike 1.
Yeah, that's a great pitch there. You do not want to go behind 2-0. And there's nowhere to put him either if you walk him.
1-1 count. Southern surpassing 80 pitches so far today. This one's going to be put into play. It's going to get through the 6-hole into left field. One's going to score. Another's heading home. Holloway's throw not going to be in time. And that's going to leave 2 base runners on for the Scarlet Hawks and tack 2 more runs on. Six to 5, the Cougar lead.
Hitter number 5, Tyler Gutsfeld.
Brings Tyler Gutsfeld up to the plate, 2 away. Still 2 base runners on. First pitch to Gutsfeld, swung on and missed for strike 1. He's 0 for 2 here today, struck out in both of his plate appearances.
Yeah, Gutsfeld, 8 home runs on the season. He has 8 of IIT's 12 home runs. He's their biggest power threat.
And he now sits with the 0-2 count here.
Yeah, you can tell he does not like this matchup. 2 strikeouts today. A lefty-lefty matchup in Southern's favor.
Gutsfeld, the only lefty hitter in this starting lineup for the Scarlet Hawks. And like you mentioned, that lefty-lefty matchup, it's just not working in favor of him today. Southern getting the best of this matchup. The 1-2 count here. In there for strike 3! Gutsfeld goes down on strikes for the 3rd time today. Much needed way out of the inning for Southern, but the Scarlet Hawks, they do tack on 3 more runs, but CUC, they're still on top here, and they're still in control of this game. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, Cam Buckley, Brendan Holloway, and Jake Mahler do up for the Cougars, and that's the start of your lineup, and arguably the strongest part of your lineup, And Bracewell, he's staying out on the mound for the Scarlet Hawks. So these Cougar hitters, they've seen what he's got, and they're looking to do some damage here.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see Cam Buckley here. He's 0 for 2 today, not having the best day. Curious, I want to see what Buckley does on the first pitch. He's been aggressive early in counts, and that has not been working well for him today. But Buckley, at that leadoff spot, he gets on base all the time and leads the knack in stolen bases, and that's huge for this lineup with the Mahler Bros. Holloway swinging a great bat today. 2 phenomenal swings.
Absolutely, and Cam Buckley leading this inning off. And yesterday against North Park, he was 2 for 5 on the day. But again, once he got on the bases, he was a problem. A stolen base and working his way around. He collected a run for himself. So just really looking to stay aggressive and get some things done. And especially the Cougars, they're still holding the 1-run lead. But this Scarlet Hawk offense, they're proving that they're not going away either.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, 51 runs over the last 4 games. That's not by accident. You got to be a good offense to do that. And these two teams really similar, 12 and 14 for the Scarlet Hawks, and Cougars 12 and 13, both above 500 in the knack.
Cam Buckley shows bunt in the first pitch he sees. Slow roller over, Rappel collecting it, but the throw not in time. Cam Buckley with a successful bunt. He's done that all season, and he's showing why he continues to do it.
Yeah, get on base by any means necessary, huh? It's a great start to the inning for the Cougars here.
So that's going to bring Brendan Holloway up to the plate. 1 runner on. Holloway, as you mentioned, Sam, he is swinging a great game so far today. 2 for 2 at the plate. He's got a single and a double. And he's going to foul the first pitch that he sees.
And you got to imagine Buckley's speed is in the back of Bracewell's mind.
Especially with no outs on the board and your hot hitters hitting hot here today. Just trying to be as aggressive on the base paths as you can. As that one's going to clip that corner of the zone for strike 2. Bracewell ahead in the count. The 0-2 swung on and missed for strike 3. Holloway goes down swinging and hands things over to Jake Mahler. So Holloway back-to-back hits followed up by a strikeout. Just couldn't keep that momentum rolling for himself, but hands it over to Jake Mahler, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Buckley takes off. The throw into the outfield. Buckley, he's going to go for third regardless. And sliding in safe at third. So the overthrow from Riley sends Buckley all the way to third.
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest jump ever by Buckley, but just a really poor throw. And straight into the outfield, Buckley showing off those wheels, getting to third.
So a favorable spot for the Cougars to be in. 1 out on the board. Buckley 90 feet from scoring, and Jake Mahler with the 1-0 count. This one in the dirt for ball 2. Bracewell nearing 70 pitches on the day so far. Mahler stepping out. Looks like he might have got some dirt in his eyes. The Thunderdome recently getting some new dirt laid down in the infield. And then we've had a lot of rain over the last week that's just really kind of settled all of that in. Keeping some fresh improvements here at Concordia, as that one in the dirt as well for ball 3. Hitters count here for Mahler. Bracewell delivers. This one's going to be swung on. Rolled over. Fryer can't collect it cleanly. And Mahler's going to advance to first, and Buckley scoring with ease.
Yeah, tough hop there, but if you're Fryer, you got to make that play. It was going to score 1 regardless, but you'll take it, and that's not a mistake you want to make with this guy coming up to the plate.
Brandon Mahler now at the plate. One out on the board, runner on. And first pitch well outside for ball one.
Yeah, last at-bat, Bracewell did not look like he wanted anything to do with Mahler. Continues in this at-bat. See if Mahler can get something to hit here.
Mahler swinging through that one, levels the count at 1-1. He's going to connect on this one high and deep into the outfield. Backtracking all the way to the warning track is Fostiak to collect it. Jake Mahler not tagging up on it, so that's going to put 2 outs on the board. And Zagerman coming to the plate for the Cougars.
Right fielder number 16, Xavier Zagerman.
A nice hit ball from Mahler. Just not enough juice to go the extra couple yards. As Bracewell's going to check over on Mahler at first. This one up and away for ball one. Zagerman 1 for 2 here today. Picked up a single in his most recent plate appearance. The 1-0. Missing for ball two. Good movement from Bracewell. Just not breaking enough. The 2-0 is going to bounce off of Zagerman. He's going to wear that one on the numbers and move Mahler to second and hand things over to Dom Owens.
Designated hitter number 14, Dom Owens.
Owens 1 for 2 here today. Swings through the first pitch he sees for strike one. Oh, 1 counts here. This one fouled off. Bracewell ahead, 0-2. Bracewell 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. This one's going to be sent right up the middle. Great contact from Owens. Mahler, he's rounding and heading home with ease. Zagerman, he's going to be sliding in at third. And in safely, Owens at second. And the Cougars strike again.
Yeah, it's an awesome two-strike approach there. Just putting ball on the bat right up the middle. Solid swing there.
First baseman number 30,
And
Jack Linko.
yeah, that was a mistake there from the center fielder Fostiak. You know you're not going to get him at third, and Dom Owens advances to second. Now you got second and third, and we know what happened the last time Linko was up. He damaged a bus.
Jack Linko, the hot hitter here today. Like you mentioned, damaging a bus out in left field after he sent a rocket of a home run onto Division Street. And now sits with the 1-1 count after swinging through that one. You could tell he's
that was a big cut. That was a big cut.
He's looking for it again. Zagerman on third, Owens on second, 2 outs. This one missing outside for ball two.
Yeah, if you're Linko here, you don't need that big swing. You just want to get the ball in the outfield, score 2 more runs, put up another crooked number. This offense just does not stop.
This one does slide its way right in there for strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. 2 runners on for the Cougars.
That was a nice pitch. Caught that inside corner, which has not been called a strike a lot today. But
as Linko swings through that one for strike 3. And that's going to do it for the inning. The Cougars, they tack on 2 runs on 2 hits, but they leave 2 on base. Inman, Riley, and Misiato due up when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, and a new arm on the bump for the Cougars in number 22, Elliot Higgins, senior out of Park Ridge, Illinois. So that is going to close out Southard's time on the mound. Final stat line for Michael Southard: 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs allowed, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, 23 batters faced, 86 total pitches thrown. And hands things over to Higgins, whose first pitch of the day is in there for strike 1. Logan Inman at the plate for the Scarlet Hawks, as Elliot Higgins making one of his limited appearances so far this season for the Cougars. Just his 3rd appearance this year, 5 total innings pitched, and looking to continue this upward trend for the Cougars.
yeah, only 5 innings this year for Higgins. Not the start that he's wanted to the season, the senior, 16 ERA. But like I talked about earlier, with all this weird scheduling and the classic Midwest weather, like it's time to make you can make a name for yourself in this pitching staff.
As that one sinks in there for strike number 2. Full count. Higgins working himself back in. This one's going to be chopped foul off the handle of Inman's bat. Keeping himself alive here. Higgins, like we said, limited appearances this season, but we saw him a lot last year. He came in as a reliever for the Cougars most of the time, as a closer, just pitching 1 inning, maybe 2 or 3 here and there. 28.2 total innings pitched last season, as that one's in there for strike 3! Inman already tossed the bat and took off to first, but that one catches the top of the zone for strike 3. Higgins' 4th strikeout of the season.
Yeah, Inman throwing that bat right away. You think umpires ever You think they wanted to call it a ball, and then they see the hitter throw the bat away, so they change their mind last second?
You know, I would like to say that doesn't happen, but I'm sure there's situations. But that one is going to be roped into left field. Holloway scooping it up. The throw could be in time, but just getting past Sperando, so that is going to be a double for Riley. But circling back to Inman's strikeout, you could already see the home plate umpire in motion before Inman even was going. But I'm sure that there are situations where the umpire just has a little bias towards that. But that's going to bring Miyasato up to the plate for the Scarlet Hawks. 2 walks on the day so far. He's got a runner in scoring position with 1 out, and he lets that first pitch go by for ball 1. This one missing just outside for ball 2. Higgins getting set. Pitch clock winding down. Delivers. Clips that zone for strike number 1. Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks on the south side of Chicago. A fairly new opponent in the NAC. Their first season in the NAC 2019. So not a lot of history, I should say NAC history, between these two teams as Higgins delivers that one in there for strike number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes here for Higgins. He delivers in the dirt for ball 3. Mahler doing a nice job scooping that one up, holding the base runners where they're at.
Yeah, another 3-2 count here for Higgins. Went down 2-0 right away. Came right back with 2 strikes, and that one in the dirt. Curious to see how he goes here. See what he does here.
The 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. 3rd consecutive walk for Miyasato.
Yeah, he wanted that pitch in the top of the zone, but couldn't get it there.
Left fielder number 3.
IIT threatening here.
Yaknin.
And that's going to bring up the 9-hitter for the Scarlet Hawks, Luke Yaknin. As they turn to try to catch Riley. Diving back to the bag safely. These two teams last season, the Cougars picking up dominant wins over the Scarlet Hawks. Both of those games on the road at Illinois Tech, but CUC picking up a 23-2 victory and a 19-3 victory. Today's game a little bit more competitive. Cougars is sitting with the 8-5 lead. CUC taking the lead early on in the game, but the Scarlet Hawks, their offense is keeping them in this ball game. Now sitting with the 2-0 count here for Yaknin. This one upstairs, Mahler throwing down. They're not going to get Miyasato in time. Close effort there. We've seen Brandon Mahler be really, really quick with that throw down to first. If he thinks that there's a chance and he can catch a runner lacking, he's going to do it. As the 3-0 pitch right down the barrel for strike 1.
Yeah, and Higgins not really has not been able to find the zone that well in this inning, and you can imagine Mahler wants to steal an out. That throw to first.
Yeah, any chance a catcher can help his pitcher out, just pick up an out, maybe gain some momentum in some way or another, just looking to help one another out. But Higgins, he's not done yet as he delivers that one in there, fouled off by Yaknin, and quickly now sitting in a full count. 1 out, runners on first and second. Higgins delivers. Missing for ball 4. That's going to walk and load the bases up. And head coach of the Cougars, Matt Smith, is going to come out and have a quick chat with his infield and his senior pitcher. Smith and Higgins been together for these 4 years that Higgins has been on this CUC roster. Before head coach of the Cougars, Matt Smith, was head coach, he was the pitching coach for the Cougars. And, you know, as the head assistant and predominantly just the pitching coach, he spent years building that relationship with his pitching staff solely as his primary responsibility. So whenever he sees one of his senior pitchers or even, you know, his more veteran pitchers kind of struggling a little bit, you're expected to see him come out and kind of provide a spark, provide some juice, because he's built that relationship with them over these years.
Yeah, you got to imagine Coach Smitty telling him, just throw a first pitch strike. He's been getting behind in these counts. He's been getting back, but when you put yourself in a position where you're down 3-0, 2-0, and then you get in that full count, there's not a lot of leverage, and there's not a lot of margin for error, I should say.
1 out on the board, bases loaded. Top of the order for the Scarlet Hawks. If you're Illinois Tech, this is a favorable spot to be in. But Higgins delivers the first pitch low for ball 1. "21 pitches thrown so far, only 9 strikes in that count. As this one in there for strike number 1, a much-needed strike for Higgins. Now, if he can go ahead in this count, that's going to provide some momentum for this senior hurler.
Absolutely. Much-needed strike there.
Higgins gets set. The 1-1. Low and away for ball 2.
That was close.
Fryer wanted to take a swing at it. It's been exactly where we've seen all pitchers today trying to chase, get that low corner, catch a hitter chasing.
Yeah, you got to imagine the approach from these IIT hitters is to be patient.
That one just missing yet again. Now puts this at a 3-1 count.
Yeah, that was right there, too.
This is a tight strike zone here. 3-1, bases loaded, 1 out. Higgins gets set. He delivers. Much needed foul tip makes it a full count.
Yeah, just another one of those, another one of these 3-2 counts. You went down 3-1. Let's see if Higgins can deliver here. You can imagine that these IIT hitters not going to be too aggressive. Higgins struggling to find the zone.
The full count. In there for strike 3. Fire me up, Elliot Higgins. A much-needed strikeout puts 2 outs on the board. The bases remain loaded, but Quentin Rappel at the plate. Higgins needed that one to hold the Scarlet Hawks where they're at, but also just for a piece of confidence here. And he delivers that one just upstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, like you said, the confidence factor. Needs to come right back here. Not another first pitch ball. Got to make it a 1-1 count here.
This one a little bit higher upstairs makes it a 2-0 count. Rappel, he's coming off of a flyout in his last at-bat, but prior to that, he had the 2 RBI home run that put the Scarlet Hawks ahead of the Cougars for the first time today. His first career home run, and he's choosing to stay aggressive at the plate here, forcing Higgins to pitch to him, and he sits with the hitters count 3-0.
Yeah, that was right there. Muller didn't like that call from Blue, but 3-0 count. Got to throw something in the zone. No bases open.
That one missing upstairs, and it is going to walk in a run. So the Scarlet Hawks tacking one on here in the top of the 5th. CUC still on top, 8-6, but the bases remain loaded, and Fostiak at the plate.
Center fielder number 6, Ryan Fostiak.
Fostiak coming off of a walk in his last plate appearance. You can imagine knowing that Higgins has been struggling to find the zone a little bit, he's going to stay vigilant at the plate, and he lets that one slide by for strike one.
That's a much-needed first pitch strike if you're Higgins here. And Fostiak, 12 doubles on the year, 15 extra base hits. He's a threat to clear these bases.
As that one is in there for strike two, you can tell these Scarlet Hawks really don't want to swing at Higgins. They're waiting for him to, throw what they are looking for. We saw the walk just come that walked in a run, and Fostiak, he took a walk in his last at-bat. He's waiting for that to come, but now he sits behind in the 0-2 count, and Higgins is getting it done. As that one's in the dirt, Mahler doing a nice job of keeping it in front of him.
Yeah, excellent job there from Mahler. Like you said, keeping it in front of him. Mahler wants to talk to Higgins here.
Yeah, I think that pitch took a little bit of a hit off of Mahler's hand, so just taking a second to kind of calm things down. So Higgins still ahead in the count, 1-2, but a bases loaded, 2 outs scenario here. 1 strike away from getting out of the inning, limiting the damage for the Scarlet Hawks. But Illinois Tech, they're proving that they don't want to swing here. They want to force Higgins to do the work himself. Mahler still taking a second. He's waiting for the home plate umpire to come out and break this up, which he does now. Umpires here today. Home plate umpire for game 1, Ben Gray. And field umpire, Michael Dermis. Coming out and breaking that one up, and that's going to bring Fostiak back into the batter's box. The 1-2 count, 2 outs, bases loaded. Higgins taking his time here. And they're going to call a balk. I'm not quite sure where that came from. So Miyasato in for the run. Base runners now on second and third, 1-2 count. This one in the dirt, levels it at 2-2.
Yeah, Fostiak offered at it, but laid off. 2-2 count. Higgins, you're still in the driver's seat here, but you do not want to go down 3. You do not want to make it a 3-2 count. You want to throw something close here.
This one missing up and away. It does fill the count, 3-2. There is an open base at first, but after Higgins got ahead in this count, really just looking to close this one out himself. Swing and a miss, strike 3, a much-needed strikeout for the senior pitcher. And that is going to do it for the top of the 5th. But the Scarlet Hawks, they keep it interesting. They tack on 2 runs on 1 hit. And that's going to bring Jerkadis Sperando and Buckley Dew up when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Connor Jerkadis leading the inning off for CUC. Bracewell still dishing on the bump for the Scarlet Hawks. He delivers the first pitch well upstairs for ball one. But Jerkadis, he needs to get something going here. He's 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. As he lets that one go by for strike 2. Scarlet Hawks tacking on 2 runs in the top half of the inning, bringing this within 1 run. As Jerkadis, he's going to send that one a nice floater over, but Fryer able to jump up and collect it for the out, and that's going to bring Sperando now up to the plate.
Solid contact there, but not enough error on it. Good catch there from Fryer. And that's a much-needed first out for Illinois Tech in this inning after giving up a couple bad innings.
Sperando 1 for 2 here today. He lets that one go by for strike 1. He's going to connect, send that one high. Looking like it's going to stay in fair territory and just going foul. I believe it actually hit on the pole of the foul netting. So quite literally inches away from staying in fair territory. In catchable territory. Riley right along the netting trying to track it. So an 0-2 count for Sperando. Fouls this one straight back, keeping himself alive. Sperando, his 3rd consecutive foul ball, keeping himself alive, but still sits with the 0-2 count. Bracewell surpassing 90 pitches here today. Quickly delivers this one low for ball 1. Good leave there from Sperando. Another foul ball. 4 foul balls in this at-bat for Sperando.
Yeah, if you're Bracewell, though, still in the driver's seat, 1-2 count.
And Sperando's going to swing through that one for the out. So 2 quick outs in the top of the order due up here for the Cougars with Cam Buckley.
Center fielder number 23, Cam Buckley.
Buckley 1 for 3 on the day. He had a well-placed bunt in his most recent plate appearance. Eventually scoring, making his way from first to third, and he's going to connect on that one, send it high and shallow into right center, but coming up and underneath it is Fostiak for the out. So a much-needed 3-up, 3-down inning for the Scarlet Hawks. Sends this back to their offense that has been hot all day today. We've seen them tack on runs when it's needed, and right now, after holding the Cougars to only their 2nd scoreless inning so far today, they're arguably in the driver's seat here. But we are going to see a new arm coming out for the Cougars, so we're going to take a quick break while we get the final stat line for Higgins and all the information on our new arm when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network. New arm on the bump for CUC, number 44, Kyle Stone, coming in after 1 inning of work for Higgins, and Stone's going to deliver first pitch for strike 1. Higgins, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 2 runs allowed, 3 strikeouts in 7 batters faced. And hands things over to the next guy up, Kyle Stone, who delivers 2 quick strikes.
Stone having himself a decent season, 4.5 ERA, but opponents are batting just .216 against him. It's really about the walks. He's had 7 walks and 7 strikeouts. If he can control the plate, expect a decent outing from him today.
As that one's going to go off the handle of Bentz, and Stone making the jumping attempt off the mound to try to catch that, and it's just going to fall right into the shallow infield. Nothing you can do about that one.
Yeah. I mean, that's weak contact. Stone couldn't get there, but I mean, promising start there though. Really finding the zone. Yeah, like I said, though, walks have been an issue for him this year, but doesn't give up a lot of hits.
Tyler Gutsfeld, and now at the plate for the Scarlet Hawks. He's going to connect with that one. A chopper over. Linko's going to get the throw over for first. The throw back, not in time. So it is going to erase the lead runner. But keep 1 on and 1 away.
Yeah, really hard to double up this IIT team. Another weak contact there again. Promising start here from Stone.
Yeah, you talked a little bit earlier today, Sam, about this Scarlet Hawks squad being just quick, and that's a prime example of it. Linko, plenty of time to get that collected and turn looking for 2, but just a quick Tyler Gutsfeld who's going to take off on that pitch as that ball is back. The jumping catch, no good. Buckley jumping to try to collect it. It was in his glove and just couldn't quite hold on to it. So that's going to allow Inman on to first. But as I was saying, Gutsfeld just took off on the pitch anyway.
Yeah, that would have been a really nice catch there from Buckley. But, I mean, even him almost catching that prevented a first and third opportunity for IIT. So at least something good comes from that drop.
Absolutely. Gutsfeld, like I said, took off on the pitch, but then once he saw that really, really close grab from Buckley, he had to hesitate. He had to backtrack a little bit, and then it kept him at second because of it.
I thought it was caught, too.
Oh, yeah.
Outstanding effort. Buckley a little upset at himself, but
it's a hard-hit ball that running into the wall. 390 straight back to center field here at the Thunderdome. So Buckley making the jumping attempt to get it and just colliding with the center field wall. But Stone, he's doing his job here. The 1-1 count. This one lined over, collected by Jerkadis. Oh my goodness, what an athletic grab. It's going to hold runners where they're at and put the second out on the board.
yeah, if that gets through, that's danger. Good
Yeah.
play there.
I mean, where that was going, especially with the way that Jerkadis had to dive, had it gotten through and stayed fair, you're guaranteeing Gutsfeld to score and potentially even Inman. So the effort there from Jerkadis and then obviously collecting it for the out is huge for the Cougars. That's going to bring up Miyasato, who has taken a walk in every plate appearance here today.
Yeah. Really seeing the ball well today. I had a few good at-bats as well. Plate appearances, I should say.
He lets that one go by for strike 1.
That's a good pitch.
Makes this a 1-1 count. Really good movement there from Stone.
Yeah, at this point, you just want to attack Miyasato. You're tired of him getting on the base pass. Throw him a strike here. Prove that he can hit.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what you're expecting Stone to be looking for is nothing too fancy. You're not trying to catch him chasing. You're not trying to catch him on either of the corners of the plate here. You want him to prove that he's going to hit because he's stayed aggressive at the plate, and that's resulted in those 3 consecutive walks. So now you want to give him anything he can.
Just make him beat you in any other way.
Absolutely. As that one misses, has to miss just upstairs because it looked good otherwise.
Yeah, that looked good from here.
So a 3-1 count here for Miyasato. Knocking on his 4th walk of the day. Stone delivers in there for strike 2. Exactly what Kyle Stone needed.
Yeah, Stone seems to be having pretty good command of the zone. I know that 2-1 pitch was a ball, but you don't hate that if you're Stone. He was a big 3-2 count, 3-2 pitch here.
The payoff fouled off. One of the few times you're going to catch Miyasato chasing. He kind of did reach for that a little bit, caught it off the end of his bat. Yeah. He was a little behind on it, but sitting with that 3-2 count, I think he's in that mindset too that he does not want to get struck out here.
Absolutely.
So the 3-2, yet again, 2 outs, the payoff pitch. Put into play. A bouncer over, and Jerkaitis, he's going to just make the throw high, and they're going to say that he's safe. Jerkaitis, the throw off the bag. Linko jumping up to collect it and dropping the tag, and head coach Matt Smith not happy with that. Head coach of the Cougars coming out to talk with the field umpire, who's now going to confer with the home umpire. I don't know. I mean, the throw was off the bag, but from here, it's hard to tell. Linko really did collect it and get the tag down. It's just a matter of if there was actually contact made there.
Yeah. There's been some problems recently with field umpires in the Thunderdome.
As you can see that the throw high, it's just really difficult to tell if that tag is dropped before Miyasato touches first. Really, really good effort from Linko to try to get there. And it's just a really close tag as they're going to leave it as a safe runner. So the E5 advances the runners, puts bases loaded, 2 outs, and Yaknin now at the plate. This one low and in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, I mean, even if he was out there, Jerkaitis has still got to make that throw on target. That's about as routine as you can get.
Absolutely, and now that you're kind of sitting in this situation, the throw off target, you're kind of wondering back, did Jerkaitis have the time to get the out at third himself, not having to make that throw? You know, in those situations, that's a routine throw, and that, you know, you don't expect it to be off bag, but I think just getting a little caught up in the moment and a little sped up.
I wonder if there was nobody on base, if he's even thinking about that throw, and maybe he's thinking, maybe I should have gone to third. Maybe I should have, maybe I shouldn't have. It's a tough situation, but you still got to make that throw, even if it is a little tricky with that runner going to third.
Regardless of the throw, you got to give some credit there to Jack Linko.
Absolutely.
Able to jump up, collect it, and even make it a conversation.
Make it a competitive play.
Absolutely, and ultimately had that throw gone astray, you're allowing Gutsfeld to score, potentially Inman. So great defensive effort there from Linko. And Stone now sits with the 3-1 counts here. He's been doing his job so far today, looking to get out of this inning. He delivers, swung on and missed, fills this count up.
Yeah, if you're Stone, you get out of the situation, make up for that error at third.
So the 3-2, 2 outs yet again. This time the base is loaded. Stone gets set. He delivers. This one's going to be put into play. Sperando able to get a glove on it. Can't field it. One's going to score. Another coming home. Yaknin's going to hold at first. Runners on first and third. And The Scarlet Hawks take the lead for the second time today.
Shortstop number 13, Jack Fryer.
Top of the order here for the Scarlet Hawks. Fryer at the plate. Runners on the corner bags. Stone doing his job. First pitch in there for strike one. I think you could tell Stone a little fired up here. He's throwing some heat now.
Yeah.
And Stone's going to get a warning for not making eye contact with Fryer. So pitch clock resets. Fresh life here. The 0-1 count, still runners on the corner bags. 2 outs. The throw off the bag. And that's going to allow a run to score. Mahler trying to catch Yaknin.
Yeah, if you're Mahler, you might just want to eat that.
It's a hard situation because you've seen Brandon Mahler make those throws and get out of the inning in that situation.
Yeah, and you can imagine Mahler wants to get out of that inning and go for the risk, but in my opinion, you got to play it safe there.
It's hard, but now the bunt laid down by Fryer. Stone scooping it up. The throw not in time. The throw at home now in plenty of time. So Yaknin getting a little greedy on the base paths, and that's going to close out the inning. But
Yaknin looks like he hurt his hand on that.
Yeah, he does look to be in some pain. The headfirst dive is going to cause him to be in some pain. Athletic trainer for the Cougars, Jenny Ortiz, making her way onto field. So we're going to take a quick break, make sure Yaknin's okay, as we head to the bottom of the 6th here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Fryer is okay out in, Yaknin okay out in left field remaining in this game. So happy to see that, as you never want to see a player go down with an injury. But bottom of the 6th, Holloway leading the inning off, and the Scarlet Hawks have retaken the lead here. The 10-8 lead after tacking on 3 runs in the top half of this inning.
Yeah, Bracewell got the better of Holloway in their last at-bat.
And now Holloway taking back-to-back pitches over his head.
Yeah, Bracewell really buzzing the tower there. Surprised at the possible bunt attempts from Holloway there. Maybe just trying to force a ball, but you want to see Holloway swing, and he's been swinging the bat well today.
2-1 counts here. As he pulls back, lets that one go by for the 3-1 count. Bracewell nearing 100 pitches on the day now. Delivers this one well inside for ball 4.
You wonder how many hitters Bracewell's got left, and this is a time where the Cougars can score a lot of runs, especially with Holloway getting on base. That's huge to lead off the inning.
Movement in the Scarlet Hawks bullpen. As you mentioned, you're wondering what Bracewell's leash is like here in this inning. So Holloway on first. Jake Mahler now at the plate. Mahler 1 for 3. He connects with this one, sends it high and deep. Backtracking at the wall. Over the fence for a home run! Bingo, bango, bongo, we have a ball game! Jake Mahler picking up where he left off yesterday and securing a game-tying home run. Absolutely electric day here at the Thunderdome.
Yeah, we were just talking about how long the leash is, or should I say short the leash is for Bracewell. And that ball was crushed, and it kept on carrying.
It absolutely did. In that center field fence for the Cougars, right over that fence is the softball field. So fortunate that softball is not playing today, as that ball could have gone into fair play for CUC softball. As we are going to see head coach of the Scarlet Hawks, Ed Ziefert, coming out, and you're seeing that motion to the bullpen. So that is going to retire Bracewell for the day. And we're going to see a new arm coming in. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network while we get the final stat line for Bracewell and information on that new arm when we come back. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, new arm on the mound for the Scarlet Hawks, number 21, Alexander Lazes, the graduate student out of Arlington Heights, Illinois.
Yeah, Lazes, 7.11 ERA on the season. Batters hitting .320 on him.
So that final stat line for Bracewell, as that's going to be a fair ball hit right up the third base line. Great ball. Mahler, he's taking second. Yaknin diving to try to get there quickly, but a stand-up double for Brandon Mahler. Oh, wow, that was a hard ball up the line. And that's going to bring up Zagerman for the Cougars. But let's circle back here. Bracewell, his final stat line, 5 innings pitched, 11 hits, 10 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 30 batters faced, and 100 total pitches thrown. A tie ball game here in the bottom of the 6th, as that one in there for strike 1. Two home runs for the Cougars so far today in Jake Mahler and Jack Linko. As this one well up and in for ball 1. 1-1 count here. This one fouled off. The 1-2 count here. In the dirt for ball 2. Mahler staying at second. Good effort there from Riley to keep that in front of him. Zagerman, he catches a piece of it to keep himself alive.
Zagerman finding himself in a longer AB here.
2-2 count, no outs, runner on second. Lazes trying to come in and shut down this raging Cougar offense. He's taking a long glance at Mahler. Delivers this one well up and in, almost hitting Zagerman. Lazes, a little unconventional there. He stayed looking at Mahler, started his motion, and turned his head back to look at Zagerman just as he was releasing that pitch. This one's going to be connected on. Sent over to third. Rappel scooping it. Gets the throw over in time, but it is going to hold Mahler at second as well and hand things over to Dom Owens.
Much needed first out there.
Designated hitter number 14.
So one away, runner in scoring position, and Dom Owens at the plate. Owens been a little bit quiet here today, but he is a reliable hitter for the Cougars. 2 for 3, and he's looking to drop this one, and he does. Drops it into shallow center. Mahler with a late jump, able to get in. The high throw coming in. Coach Nelson having to jump out of the way to ensure that he wasn't going to A, get hit by the ball, or B, be in the way of Rappel trying to collect it. So a base hit hands things over to Jack Linko with two runners in scoring position.
Yeah, good base running there from Owens.
Baseman number 30, Jack
Throw to third.
Linko.
Well, late. Turn a bloop single into a second and third for Jack Linko, who has a home run today. See if he can do damage against the new pitcher.
Linko 2 for 3 on the day with 3 RBIs. Like you mentioned, responsible for that first home run of the day. As that one's going to take a bounce off the plate, takes a generous bounce in favor of the Scarlet Hawks, but Mahler, he's jogging across the plate, no problem. And that's going to move Dom Owens over to third, and the Cougars are retaking the lead here. This one clips that outside corner of the zone. 1-1 count now. This one, very similar spot. Good framing from Riley. But now, Lazes ahead in the count. 1-2, 1 out. Owens on third.
Yeah, good spot there from Laza. Same exact spot, like you said.
Linko taking a swing at that one, sends it foul along the first base line to the Cougar dugout. 1-2 count yet again. This one connected on, sent over. Rappel scooping it up. The throw in time, and it is enough to hold Owens where he is. So another similar situation to what we saw, and that's going to put 2 outs on the board, and Jerkadis now at the plate. It's pretty much the exact same situation that you saw with Zagerman. Sent that slow roller over to Rappel, who was able to hold Mahler at second in the process.
2 nice plays there from Rappel.
As the first pitch to Jerkadis outside for ball 1.
You can imagine Jerkadis wants to make up for that error last inning. It's a great time to redeem yourself here. You're Jerkadis.
He's also overdue for a hit, 0 for 3 at the plate here today. As he sends a chopper. Rappel scooping it. The throw, not good. In the dirt, a reaching Inman tries to get it, but the throw allows Jerkadis to be safe and Owens to score and hands things over to Richie Sperando.
Shortstop number 8, Richie Sperando.
Yeah, you're going to want that one back if you're Rappel.
Yep.
He made 2 good plays that inning. 3 grounders to him in the same inning. That's not that common. But poor throw, low. Another run for the Cougars. See if they can keep the line moving. A little 2-out rally here.
As this one's going to be skied into shallow right field, and Bent's able to come up and underneath it to secure the outs. So that is going to do it for the inning, but the Cougars, they are going to strike right back, tacking on 4 runs, and that's going to bring out a new arm for the Cougars. We'll have all that information when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, new arm on the bump for the Cougars at number 51, Kyle Connolly. He's coming in relief of Kyle Stone, his stat line shows a little bit of discomfort there, but he did his job. But Connolly looking to do his job as well as he forces a 1-pitch grounder. Jerkadis over to Linko for out number 1. But that final stat line for Kyle Stone, 1 inning pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, no strikeouts, 7 batters faced, 24 total pitches thrown, and he hands it over to Connolly.
Yeah, and Kyle Connolly, he's had a pretty solid season so far this year, 3.77 ERA. Opponent's batting just .214, 14 strikeouts, 7 walks, and a quick first out.
Kyle Connolly, he's coming off of a really, really strong outing against Marion on Sunday. The Cougars coming in, and it went to extra innings. Connolly ended up picking up the win in that. And he pitched 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, 9 batters faced in those 3 innings. You do the math on that. That is a very impressive outing for those 3 innings that he pitched. And arguably the most electric part of it all. He had a barehanded catch on the mound to close the inning, send it to extra innings that the Cougars would then turn around and win in. So Kyle Connolly, he's riding some momentum here, and he's ahead in this count 0-2.
Yeah, absolutely. And only one lefty in this lineup for IIT, and that sidearm delivery from Connolly has got to be nightmarish for right-handed hitters, and it's shown so far. 0-2 count. Connolly looking sharp so far.
Forcing a lot of foul balls here from Fostiak. This one missing outside. The 1-2 count here. Connolly delivers outside again. Ball 2.
Yeah, not a bad pitch there, though. Keeping him honest. Curious to see what he does on this 2-2. You don't want to go down 3-2. Curious to see how close to the zone this will be.
This one's going to be put into play. A roller over to second. Mahler collects it and gets the out with ease. Quickly, 2 outs on the board. Phillip Benz coming to the plate. That's exactly what the Cougars need here. They've allowed the Scarlet Hawks to score in the last 4 innings, and it's created such a back-and-forth game. The Cougars, they held the Scarlet Hawks scoreless in the first 2, and their offense has just really come to life since then. So being able to come in and get to work early in the inning, 2 quick outs, and now the 0-1 count on Bentz, it's exactly what this defense needed.
Yeah, and part of the reason that IIT has 10 runs today is Phillip Bentz. He is 4 for 4 today. Let's see if Conley can be the first one to retire him today.
1-1 counts here. Connolly working quickly and efficiently. This one breaking just outside for ball 2. Connolly, one of those low slot pitchers for the Cougars. Low release point, gets really good side-to-side movement on his pitches.
Ooh.
As that one misses just low for ball 3.
That was nasty. Just missed, though. Blues had a tight zone all day. But not a bad pitch there. Good take from the hot Bentz.
As this one's going to be a chopper over to third. Jerkade is collecting it. The throw over, a much-needed 3-up, 3-down inning for the Cougars. Oh, my goodness. Kyle Connolly picking up right where he left off on Sunday. A big outing.
Stretch time here at the Thunderdome.
As we head to the bottom of the 7th, top of the order due up for the Cougars, but before we get there, today's game is sponsored in part by Grand Appliance. Grand Appliance is a 4th-generation family-owned appliance retailer established in 1930 who serves a growing list of communities in Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Their mission is to create customers for a lifetime by offering an industry-leading shopping experience with competitive, everyday pricing, state-of-the-art showrooms, top-quality brands, expert sales representatives, and a professional delivery and installation services. Head to www.grandappliances.com to find the nearest retailer to you. As it looks like we're going to have a new arm on the bump for the Scarlet Hawks coming in here. Number 44, I believe. Jack Niekradz, the senior out of Riverside, Illinois, coming in to pitch for Illinois Tech. So we'll get a final look at the stat line here for Lazes. Lazes just 1 inning pitched and did a nice job, but the Cougars just able to do a better job there. As waiting to see that final stat line. But the top of the order here for the Cougars coming up. Sorry about that delay there. The final stat line for Lazes: 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs allowed, 6 batters faced, 18 total pitches, and hands things off to the next guy in Niekradz, who's looking to hold the Cougars where they're at. First pitch to Buckley, delivered in there for strike number 1.
Yeah, not a lot here on Niekradz. He's only pitched 1 2/3. Haven't seen a lot from him this year, and he's got his hands full with this top of the lineup for CUC, starting off with Cam Buckley, and it's been a theme for Buckley today. 0-2 count, getting down early in counts. His 1 hit is from a bunt on the first pitch.
as he's going to connect with that one, skyrocketed into right field, but a little bit of a collision. I can't quite tell if, I believe Bentz caught it, but a collision between Bentz and Fostiak. So that's going to retire Buckley, but going out and still on the ground is Fostiak. As head coach Ed Ziefert slowly making his way out onto the field. He's up and walking now, but again, not something that you really want to see. Collisions never a good thing, especially out in the outfield. You're running full speed.
Yeah, those outfield collisions, they could be scary. Recently in the MLB, two Tigers outfielders, Parker Meadows and Riley Green, they ran into each other, and Parker Meadows had to go off he had to be carted off, and he broke his arm. So those outfield collisions, they're dangerous. They're scary.
Absolutely. Like I said, you're just running full speed, and you're just looking for the ball. You're tracking that. You're not really looking at much else. And so that's where those can be just incredibly dangerous. So good to see Fostiak and Bentz back up, both of them moving okay out there in the outfield, but that's going to put out number one on the board and bring Brendan Holloway up to the plate now.
Ooh.
And Holloway's going to wear that one, put a runner on, and hand things over to Jake Mahler.
Yeah, not the first time Holloway's been beamed this year and gone straight to first. No problem. He's okay. He'll have a good bruise tomorrow, but he's feeling good.
Brushing it off and getting ready to do some work on the base paths. But Jake Mahler here looking to continue his hot streak as that first pitch clips that outside corner for strike one. Mahler 2 for 4 on the day so far, 4 RBIs. He had that second home run for the Cougars here today that tied this ball game up before the Cougars were able to tack on a couple more and take the lead, as that one misses inside. One and one count, 1 out. This one missing inside as well. Really good movement from Nekraz on his pitches.
Yeah, just missed there. Like we said, it's been a tight zone. That corner strike has not been called a lot today.
Holloway's going to take off. The throw well off, but on the near side, so the effort was made, but Miyasato not able to collect it and drop the tag, so 3-1 count for Mahler and a stolen bag for Holloway. The delivery here, outside ball 4. Holloway staying over on second, and Brandon Mahler coming up to the plate. Brandon Mahler 1 for 3 on the day, 2 runs of his own, picked up a double, and he's had a walk. So, again, as one of the top hitters for this CUC squad, I shouldn't say one of the top hitters, he is the top hitter for this CUC squad. He's overdue for some good contact here.
Yeah,
2 runners on base.
Last at bat, Mahler, hard hit ball down the third baseline, and yeah, I'm expecting some hard contact again, like you mentioned. But Mahler, their best hitter, looking to do some damage against the pitcher. Not a lot of experience this year.
As this one misses inside for ball 2, a quick 2-0 count. Cougars lead at 12-10. If you're just now joining us, you have missed an exciting ball game. It has been a hitter's game. A back and forth as Mahler ropes that one off the glove of Rappel. Holloway's going to round and easily score. Mahler's planted on first and second.
Yeah. Solid contact there.
Cougars on top 10-13 here, and Zagerman now coming to the plate. 1 out on the board and 2 runners on.
Yeah, if you're Necrez here, giving up one run, not the end of the world, especially with that high-powering offense. But Kyle Conley looked awesome in that last inning. But if you can get out of here giving up just 1 run in this dangerous part of the order, you're okay with that. You're okay with that. Double play here for Necrez would be awesome.
Zagerman 1 for 3 so far today, but he's marking things down in almost every statistical category. 1 run, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout, 1 hit by pitch. So looking to maybe add something in the double, triple, or home run category here. He sits with the 2-0 count. Pops this one up high and back, but out of play for the 2-1 counts. Going into the bleachers on the Cougar fan base side, seemingly everybody okay. 2-1, 1 out. Necrez delivers here. Connected on, sent high and deep into right field. Brent's underneath it. Jake Mahler tagging up, Brandon Mahler staying put. So good effort there from Phillip Benz to get underneath it, but that's going to put a runner 90 feet from the plate, and Dom Owens now at the plate.
Designated hitter number 14, Dom Owens.
This one well inside. Good effort there from Riley to get a glove on it. Owens 3 for 2 on the day, 2 RBIs, 2 runs of his own. Picked up singles in his last 3 consecutive at-bats. This one missing outside for ball 2. The 2-0 well inside yet again for ball 3. Necrez struggling to pitch to this lefty hitter a little bit. Runners on the corner bags. Everything's been well off the plate. The 3-0 catches that outside corner for strike 1.
All right, if you're Owens, he threw you a strike. 3-1 count, you're probably taken there, but now this is the time to be aggressive. You want to get a hit. You want to drive in another run for Kyle Conley, who pitched great last inning.
That one.
Well, can't do much with that one.
Well outside. Couldn't even chase it if he wanted to. It's going to load the bases up for Jack Linko. Again, a dangerous spot to be in. I don't know if there's a safe spot in this Cougar lineup at the moment. Jack Linko 2 for 4 here today, but he is responsible for the Cougars' first home run of the day.
Yeah, I want to see Linko here with more of a patient approach. He hit that home run, and then last couple at bats kind of just grounds one out, shortstop.
As they're going to take the insurance there and get Owens at second, so that's going to close the inning. But the Cougars, they are able to tack one on. Kyle Connolly coming back out onto the mound for the Cougars. We'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports and Network, CUC leads 10-13 here in the top of the 8th. Kyle Connolly still dishing for the Cougars, and Tyler Gutzfeld at the plate, and he takes strike number 1.
Yeah, Gutzfeld, a lot of power, but rough day for him today. 0 for 4. Only lefty in this lineup. Talked about Conley's movement against righties and how uncomfortable it could be, but like I said, only lefty in the lineup for IIT today. Let's see how Gutzfeld can approaches this sidearm approach.
1-1 count here. This one connected on right back at Connolly. Bounced off of him. I'm not sure. I think it hit him in the shoulder potentially. He's getting up. But head coach of the Cougars, Matt Smith, he's going to come out and just check on him to be sure. Really, really hard hit ball. Connolly saying he's okay.
Yeah, Conley waving off Coach Smith there. Says, I'm okay.
Athletic trainer Jenny Ortiz on standby as well, but Connolly brushing it off. Tough kid ready to keep rolling. So Gutzfeld picking up his first hit of the day. And that's going to bring Logan Inman to the plate.
15, Logan Inman.
It's been a strange day here. We've seen some collisions. We've seen some contact at the plate. We've seen a couple hard hit balls that are just taking some weird bounces. But knock on wood, Sam, everybody been okay from all of those situations, which is the most important piece here. Oh, 1 count here, and Connolly's going to bean Inman.
There's another one, another hit by pitch.
So that's going to put 2 runners on, no outs, and Matthew Riley at the plate.
Catcher number 25, Matt Riley.
So Connolly, he came in and he delivered a really efficient first inning appearance, I should say, and just struggled here a little bit as that one's going to be a bunt laid down, the throw not in time. Successful bunt there from Riley. Really, really good bunt.
Yeah, I don't know if you could have placed it any better with your hand. Tough play there to make if you're Conley. Now you're in a trouble situation. Bases loaded, no outs. The good news is there's force at home first, second, and third, but let's see if Conley can get out of this.
Kendall Miyasato due up at the plate, getting some conversation here from assistant coach for the Scarlet Hawks, Brady Roberts. Brady Roberts, actually one of the assistant coaches for the Scarlet Hawks, but played here at Concordia, was a member of those World Series teams for the Cougars, NAC regular season champions, NAC tournament champions, making appearances in the Division III national tournaments here. So he's a strong CUC alum, a part of that legendary group of baseball players, and now coaching against the Cougars. So always fun to see alumni doing their thing, even if it's not necessarily here at Concordia. Miyasato checks his swing, but takes it for strike 1 nonetheless. And he's been the guy here today for the Scarlet Hawks. 3 consecutive walks, and then he was forcing a bases loaded. No, not a bases loaded. Excuse me, a 2-on play at first that ended up being a error, and nobody covering first there allows 1 to score, and Miyasato safe.
Miscommunication there from Linko and Conley.
As that's going to bring in a new batter for the Scarlet Hawks, Joshua Minami.
Left fielder, Yaknin. Number 2, Joshua Minami.
So that's going to keep the bases loaded. No outs on the board, and the Scarlet Hawks slowly creeping back in here. I was in the middle of talking about Miyasato, and he's just caused some trouble for the Cougars today. And as I was talking about him causing trouble, he caused some more.
And he hasn't even made it to the outfield today.
This one's going to be a hard hit over. They get one. They look to turn two. And Sperano does not attempt to make the throw over. So they erase Miyasato. But another run will score from it.
Yeah, Minami only 2 at-bats this year, but he is extremely speedy. That was his 3rd at-bat of the year, but he has 3 stolen bases, so you can imagine him as a threat in scoring position.
13, Jack Fryer.
So the Cougars pick up a much-needed first out of the inning. Fryer at the plate, which is the top of the order for the Scarlet Hawks. Runners on the corner bags. CUC still holding on to this lead by 1 run now, as that one misses for ball 1. Connolly, he delivered a really, really strong top of the 7th, retired 3 batters in order. The runner's going to take off Mahler. This time he's going to eat that one and allow Minami to take second with ease.
Yeah, Mahler not making the same mistake as last time, just eating it up. In my opinion, the smart play to make. Just focus on the batter here. If you're Conley, you know you got good stuff. Down 2-0 right now, but
this one clips in there for strike number 1. And you got to wonder here, you know, the start of this inning, Kyle Connolly taking that close pitch. I'm not sure if it hit off his arm, if it just nearly did. But either way, you're questioning here, is he physically okay? Is he mentally a little bit rattled? Is that where we're seeing this? Because he came in and absolutely dished in the 7th inning and just struggling here a little bit, trying to work his way out. 3-1 count for Fryer, an open base on first. And that's in there for strike 2. Infield playing shallow here. Linko on grass. The middle infielders just a step off the grass. As he reaches for that one, the throw to home and the tag in time. Great high IQ play there from Connor Jurkaitis to prevent the run from scoring. So that's going to allow Fryer safely on first, Minami over on third, and Riley out at home.
yeah, great play there from Jurkaitis. A little high on the throw, but
Baseman number 14,
enough velocity on it.
Ripple.
Much needed out there. Much needed 13-12 still. So Cougars still up by 1. Just want to get out of this inning with the lead. Trust in your hitters. Get a few more, tack on a few more insurance runs.
Ripple at the plate here for the Scarlet Hawks. Runners on corner bags with 2 outs. And, you know, circling back to that Jurkaitis throw to home, you're not in a bad spot if you take the force out at first.
No.
You know, you allow the tying run to score, but this ball game's been tied before. And
Yeah.
we've seen, you know, the Cougars, they're not struggling to hit here today. So allowing that run to score, not the worst thing in the world, but instead he chooses to play aggressive. He chooses to prevent that run, and it works in his favor. Prevents that run, keeps this at a 1-run advantage for the Cougars with 2 outs now on the board.
It also opens up a force at second. I know there's 2 outs, but
As Connolly checking on Fryer yet again over at first. But yeah, exactly that point. There's 2 outs, but if there's anything that is a hit to those middle infielders, you're expecting them to just take that easy flip over to second.
Absolutely.
Instead of, you know, risking that throw across field. Fryer takes off.
Oh.
A little
Fryer messing with him a little bit.
yeah,
there.
little mind game there.
Yeah.
So Rappel's going to take strike 2. Fryer's going to take his stolen base. I think he was really, really pushing for Mahler to throw down.
Yeah.
But Cougars, like, now they take away that force, but they're still in a favorable spot here. As that one's fouled off out of play along first base line. 0-2 count here. Connolly looking to get out of this inning here. He delivers. That one's going to be put into play. Mahler, he's going to collect it, take his time, and get the throw over. A much-needed out for the Cougars, and that's going to send this to the bottom of the 8th. CUC still sitting on top 13-12 when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Connor Jerkadis leading this inning off for the Cougars. CUC, they're holding on to that 1-run lead, but that ball getting well away from Nekraz. Appears to be okay, though. A lot of times when you see a ball getting that far away, either
Just a little slippage.
Either you're dealing with some slippage or just an injury, but that's going to be a chopper over to Fryer, the throw in time. So Connor Jerkadis retired there. No damage done. Hansing's over to Sperando now with one away.
Shortstop number 8, Richie Sperando.
CUC, they lead by 1, and let me tell you, in a game like this, a 1-run lead is not guaranteed.
It is not safe.
It has been a back and forth ball game all day. As that's going to get down in right field. A needed hit here for the Cougars. Sends this to the top of the order. Cam Buckley now looking to move things around with one away.
You'd love to get the Mauler Bros a couple more or one more at bat in this game. Because like we said, 1 run is the furthest thing from safe in a game like this. And if Conley comes in the 9th again, his stuff wasn't looking as solid as it did in the 7th, but you would love to give him a little bit more insurance. Feel a little bit more comfortable out there. And Buckley, not a great game for Buckley today, but he has a chance to redeem himself.
Yeah, Buckley 1 for 5 here today. He had back-to-back flyouts in his last 2 plate appearances. His lone hit, a bunt in the 4th inning.
Yeah, and Buckley ahead in the count for the first time today.
As he skies this one high into shallow left field. Manami coming up underneath it for his first putout of the day. And that's going to put 2 outs on the board, and Brendan Holloway now at the plate.
Yeah, not Cam Buckley's day, but he's had a lot of good days this year. So Brendan Holloway making up for Buckley's rough day. But let's see if Holloway can help with that insurance.
Holloway 2 for 3 here on the day. Started off the game with a double and a single. And then he struck out, and then he's been walked in the last 2 plate appearances, as that's going to be a straight shot right back at Nekraz. The throw off the bag. So another just missile right back at the pitcher.
Nekraz, he didn't know where it was, and then he kind of panicked. He got it, and then really weak throw. I mean, that's so tough for a pitcher. Like you're throwing that, making that throw to first. Like there's a reason that pitchers let their infielders take it, because he looked extremely uncomfortable and maybe a little shaken up as well. But that ball, he kind of just lobbed it over to first. Even if that was on point, I think Holloway's beating that out.
as everybody coming out to check on Nekraz after he wore that one, I believe, on his leg. He's kind of limping and walking around. Going to throw a couple pitches here and see how he's feeling. Athletic training staff on the field for the Cougars, as well as head coach Ed Ziefert. So again, we said it. It's been a weird day.
Yeah.
We've seen a
me.
lot of things.
We've gotten just about everything in this game except for good pitching.
So it's been a hitter's game, and it's
absolutely
been
has.
unkind to the pitchers, not just in terms of what the hitters have been able to score and complete off of it, but clearly in the last 2 innings, both of these pitchers have worn a pitch.
Yeah.
So just unkind to the pitchers here at the Thunderdome today.
If Nekraz stays in this game here, you wonder how much that'll affect him for this at-bat versus Jake Mahler. And Brandon Mahler gets on. The Cougars are in prime position to add on here. And let's see what Mahler does here. Walked his last plate appearance, home run in the 6th. A few RBIs today. He's had a great day today.
So Nekraz staying in the game for the Scarlet Hawks. Jake Mahler at the plate, 2 outs on the board, 2 runners on. So far today, the Cougars 3 for 11 at the plate with 2 outs, as that one drops low for ball 1. Cougars at 10 for 26 with runners on base, 7 for 16 with runners in scoring position, and 3 for 11 with 2 outs. So Jake Mahler just looking to attack here as he lets that one go by for ball 2. The 2-0 up and away for ball 3. So Nekraz, I mean, he started off this inning pretty hot for the Scarlet Hawks, and now behind in this count, 3-0.
Yeah, and if you're Jake Mahler here, you're okay with being patient here. Bring up Brandon.
As that one's going to miss as well. A 4-pitch walk for Jake Mahler is going to bring Brandon Mahler up to the plate with the bases loaded at 2 outs. Again, we saw something similar happen in the top half of this inning. The Cougars, Kyle Connolly, he was dishing the inning before, and then he takes a pitch right back at him and then struggles a little bit. And you don't know if that's physical or if that's just being rattled a little bit. And now a 4-pitch walk for Nekraz. Now what we've seen from him here today so far, and he's got bases loaded with Brandon Mahler at the plate.
Yeah, and this is what you want. This is what you want to go into the inning. Bases loaded for your best hitter, the best hitter in the NAC this year. Looking to tack on at least 2. If something gets in the outfield, at least 2 scoring. Holloway with that speed at second. Going on anything with 2 outs. Ooh.
As that one behind Mahler, but took a fortunate bounce for Riley, bouncing right off the best part of the backstop and right back into his glove.
Yeah. Well, there's no bases open, so you got to pitch to him. And Mahler knows that. If there's something over the plate, Mahler's ready to attack.
6 straight balls thrown from Nekraz. The 2-0 count for Mahler. He's going to swing at that one, send it towards the Scarlet Hawk dugout. Assistant coach Ryan Cantillon not able to field that one cleanly off the bounce. So a 2-1 count here. Bases loaded. Nekraz gets set. He delivers. And that's going to be skied high into shallow left field. Tracking underneath it was Fryer for the out, so that's going to leave the bases stranded as we head to the top of the 9th. CUC, they lead by 1, but that is not a guaranteed thing in a game like this.
Nope.
Unsure what we're going to see from the pitching staff, so we'll be surprised with you when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, and Kyle Connolly, he is closing this game out for the Cougars, coming right back out and picking up where he left off, delivering strike at number 1. So just needed a little time to kind of settle in and coming back with some vengeance. The Cougars, they've got a 1-run lead as Connolly now ahead 0-2 in the count.
Yeah, this first batter is extremely important. You need to get that first out, especially in a 1-run game like this.
That one missing just outside. Brandon Mahler thought it was there for strike 3. That's been called at times throughout today. So that's a good spot for Connolly, just missing.
Mahler wanted it too.
This one's going to be roped into left field, backtracking, and Holloway making the diving catch for the out. Oh, my goodness. Someone call ESPN. The Cougars are trying to get onto SportsCenter one way or another.
Great play there from Holloway. I mean, that ball was roped. Got a great jump on it.
Oh, my goodness. A much-needed out. That could have been dangerous for the Cougars.
Yeah, that's at least 2.
As this one misses inside for ball 1.
And you can imagine that's going to take pressure off of Conley. Just gave up a hard hit ball, but his left fielder Holloway's got him.
This one swing and a miss, strike number 1.
That's nasty. That's wiffle ball stuff right there.
Oh my goodness, that ball just dropping in there.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not Philip Benz up there.
This one swung on and missed. Connolly said if it worked once, it'll work again. And quickly, he's ahead in the count, 1-2.
And Ben's 4 for 5 today, but only out against Conley. And two great pitches there from Conley. 1-2 count.
This one missing low, levels the count at 2 apiece. One out on the board. Connolly gets set here. He delivers.
Ooh.
Oh, that one's going to be fouled off.
Just tipped it.
Benz, he had to swing. He had to try to make some sort of contact. Got to protect the plate there. And I think it just kind of caught off on the inside of his bat.
Yeah, that's a great pitch there from Conley, though. Staying inside.
As Benz fouls this one off yet again.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle. Yeah, you can imagine Bentz wanted to see Conley again after that ground out that he had in the 7th.
And Connolly, he's coming back. He's looking like he did in the 7th. As that one is in there for strike 3. Connolly with the off speed got him swinging and puts 2 outs on the board. The Cougars 1 out away from securing this Game 1 victory. But Tyler Gutsfeld, he's doing everything he can to keep this game alive.
Yeah, went right back at it. Awesome pitch there from Conley. Conley's stuff is looking great. Now here's the righty-lefty matchup.
That one's going to be fouled off. The 0-1 here, this is going to be put into play. It's going to take a bounce off of Linko. Gutsfeld, he's taken 2, and then Buckley can't grab it cleanly. So extra bases for Gutsfeld puts the game-tying run on second.
Yeah, Linko, that's a hard hit ball, but I think Jack Linko might be thinking about that one if this game doesn't go in the way that the Cougars want it to go. Another costly error there. And now runner in scoring position as well. It's dangerous times, but it's all up to Conley here. 2 outs here.
So like I said, the game a tying run on second, 2 outs. You take a look at this Illinois Tech team. They've been struggling to get going when they're batting with 2 outs, but
this is the part of the lineup that had a lot of success against Conley in the 8th inning. So Gutzfeld had that leadoff single in the 8th, and
Logan Inman at the plate. 2 outs on the board. The game-tying run on second, and Kyle Connolly, he's trying to get out of this game. As assistant coach for the Scarlet Hawks, Brady Roberts, talking to his hitters yet again.
you need that first pitch strike here if you're Conley.
Connolly's first pitch in the dirt to Inman. Mahler keeping it in front of him, holding Gutzfeld at second.
If you're Gutzfeld here, just get back into the count. Even it up here, 1-1. Do not want to go down 2-0 in this spot. That's a good pitch.
As it's in there for strike number 1. 1-1 count here, 2 outs.
Yeah, that looked like a take all the way there from Inman. Didn't really look like he was interested in that. Not a bad pitch to hit there, but good pitch there from Inman. Or, excuse me, Conley.
This one's going to be put into play. A hard bouncer. Jerkadis with the throw off the bag yet again, but Linko in there for the out. Much needed, and the Cougars secure the Game 1 win. And that was a little PTSD there after that throw was off the bag. Great snag from Linko, and getting himself back on the bag to close this game out, but it was a close one. I don't know if it could have gotten any closer. Back and forth matchup, the tying run on second, and quite literally inches from that game ending, but the Cougars able to get out of it and take the 13-12 victory. So that's going to do it for Game 1 here at the Thunderdome. But ladies and gentlemen, this is just Game 1 of a double feature, as Game 2 is going to be coming up in just about 30 minutes. Stick around. Game 2, 3:30, right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to Chicago.